It's Wednesday, September 21st, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with a look at the latest local news, including a water rescue in Milford, a police-involved shooting in a Foxwoods casino parking garage, a dog stolen out of a car, and much more. Frank Granito will have a Nutmeg sports update and a look at your forecast, and Donald Ang joins us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Milford firefighters rescued a man from Long Island Sound Tuesday after he was swept off the sandbar at Silver Sands Beach. At approximately 4 in the afternoon, Milford's 911 center received a call reporting a man in distress due to a rising tide. The incident occurred in the waters of Long Island Sound between Silver Sands State Park and Charles Island. A 52-year-old Waterbury man, along with his 24-year-old son, were attempting to walk out to Charles Island on the sandbar that becomes visible during low tide. Having misjudged the tide, the duo quickly became overcome by the swift current while attempting to return. The 24-year-old man swam safely to shore and placed the 911 call. His father managed to grab onto a nearby buoy and clung to it for safety. Milford firefighters responded and took the man on board to safety. He was returned to shore and evaluated and treated for minor injuries. Of course, fire officials say all residents and visitors to the city of Milford are reminded to avoid walking out to Charles Island when that sandbar is visible. The rising tide brings a very strong current that often pulls recreational walkers out into deeper water. And Connecticut State Police are investigating a fatal shooting by Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Police that happened in a garage at Foxwoods Casino yesterday morning. Mashantucket Pequot Tribal police officers attempted to serve an arrest warrant on a wanted suspect. And as they attempted to take the suspect into custody in the Fox Tower parking garage, he pointed a firearm at them. Those tribal police ordered the suspect to drop his weapon, however, he did not comply. At least one of those tribal police officers discharged at least one round from their duty weapon at the suspect. The suspect then fell off the 4th level of the Fox Tower parking garage onto a paved driveway below. Mashantucket tribal police officers rendered first aid, however, that suspect was pronounced dead. There were no other reported injuries and no police officers were injured. At the request of tribal police, the New London State's attorneys detectives from the Eastern District Major Crime Squad unit responded to the scene and have assumed that investigation. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner will conduct a post-mortem examination to determine the manner of death. The identity of that suspect is being withheld pending notification of his next of kin. And in other news, a 70-year-old Wilton man faces domestic violence charges after allegedly attempting to drown an elderly female by holding her down in a swimming pool. Police said that Michael Ruddy, whose address they could not provide under privacy rules, faces charges of assault on an elderly person older than 60 years old, as well as disorderly conduct, second-degree assault, and unlawful restraint in connection to this woman's call for help on Saturday. The victim managed to break away and use a neighbor's phone to call for help. An additional charge of violation of a protective order was filed on September 19th after Ruddy allegedly made 2 third-party attempts to contact the woman. He was released on a $50,000 bond. And Sikorski aircraft will stay in Stratford for at least the next 16 years, thanks to a deal reached between Governor Daniel Malloy and Lockheed Martin, Sikorski's parent company. Malloy announced Tuesday that he and Lockheed Martin had reached an agreement that will have Sikorski building nearly 200 CK-53K King Stallion helicopters for the U.S. Navy until at least 2032. The deal, according to a statement from Malloy's office, is subject to legislative and union approval. It will retain and grow approximately 8,000 jobs at Sikorski, which is headquartered on Main Street in Stratford. As part of the deal, Lockheed Martin will keep Sikorski headquarters in state as primary production facility for its government-based helicopter business and retain and grow its full-time employment to more than 8,000 by the end of 2030. You can get more information at stratfordstar.com. And Milford police are looking for the public's help to identify the suspect in a burglary that took place on September 12th at the Wheelers Farm Road business. That suspect pictured here stole an Apple iPad and wallet from inside of the business and later used a credit card from the stolen wallet to make purchases at a Bridgeport Stop and Shop. Anyone with information on the case is asked to contact the Milford Police at 203-878-6551. And a Connecticut man who spent 48 years on the lam after escaping from a work camp in Georgia will be allowed to stay in the state. According to the fugitive's attorney, Robert Stakowitz, 71 years old, was arrested at his home in rural Sherman after officials processing his Social Security application discovered a warrant for his arrest. Stakowitz's lawyer, Norman Pattis, said that Georgia officials will let the fugitive stay in Connecticut, and they are now waiting for the state to agree on supervising his parole. In prison on a robbery conviction, he escaped in 1968 from a prison work camp in Carrollton, Georgia. His attorney told the Associated Press that his client is in poor health. Pattis provided previously undisclosed details of Stakowitz's life before the robbery and his time on the lam, including stints as a high school auto shop teacher, Ford dealership mechanic, and a boat repairman. But we are going to switch gears now and throw it over to Frank Gordito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. On and off periods of sun today and very warm out with an expected high of 85 degrees. Humidity is up and there is a light breeze of about 7 miles per hour. Mostly clear through the evening and overnight with temperatures dropping down into the low 60s. Thursday we'll see plenty of sunshine and warm conditions again. Less humid tomorrow with temperatures sitting in the low 80s. Clear skies and cooler later on in the evening, and temperatures should drop down to about 56 or 57 overnight before Friday morning. Friday, though, it's going to be very humid during the day, mostly cloudy skies, warm and muggy out with temperatures around 82 degrees, but that number will feel a lot closer to 90. Mild conditions overnight with temperatures in the mid-60s, and there is a chance for a scattered shower or two before Saturday morning. Let's send it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, we have a lot more news to talk about, including Stratford firefighters thanking Stratford police for nabbing 2 suspects who are stealing from cars at fire headquarters. Of course, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history, and Frank will have your Nutmeg Sports update after this.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where high-tech tools go hand in hand with a human touch, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1,000,000 points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere, so get an Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
We're back on this September 21st edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I tweeted out my guesses today for this day in Hanstery, as I'm calling it. Donald Dang joining us now. So I hope I'm right, and we do welcome you to play along, of course. We all make some guesses, but tell us what we've got for today, Don.
Well, the official HAN historical look back today begins in 1780 during the American Revolutionary War. Benedict Arnold turns over plans to West Point to the British. That's him there dealing with Major John Andre. By the way, if you're not watching the AMC series Turn, you should be. Arnold was angry that he never received the glory from the victory at Saratoga. He also needed money to attain the lifestyle to which he aspired. The British accepted his conditions but never really trusted him. Wonder why? He had a series of bad business deals and petty lawsuits throughout his life. He died in 1801. Now we go to 1897. The most famous and quoted editorial of all time, the Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus editorial published in the New York Sun. Written in response to a letter from 8-year-old Virginia O'Hanlon, it remains one of the best known and most reprinted editorials in history. O'Hanlon, by the way, would actually meet Santa Claus at age 79. 1996, the U.S. Congress passes the Defense of Marriage Act by a vote of 342 to 67 in the House and 85 to 14 in the Senate. The law prohibited federal recognition of same-sex marriage while allowing the states to adopt any marital definition of their choosing. The Supreme Court would strike down the ruling just 16 years later. Bill Clinton, there signing the law, has since said he regrets signing it as he feels it was unconstitutional. Finally, now we go to 1981, a big day for the former Ms. Day.
Good evening. Sandra O'Connor, President Reagan's nominee to become the first woman justice on the Supreme Court, told the Senate today that she is firmly opposed to abortions. In the first day of confirmation hearings, the 51-year-old Arizona Court of Appeals judge also said she was a judicial conservative. She believed that the proper role for the courts is one of interpreting the law, not making it. Most members of the Senate Judiciary Committee indicated they would support her confirmation, which is considered assured.
And of course, Sandra Day O'Connor approved by the U.S. Senate by a vote of 99 to nothing in her nomination hearing. O'Connor would serve until 2005. She was the first woman named to the Supreme Court. That is your look back in history for today, September 21st, and I'm Donald Lang.
All right, Don, I'm 2 for 4, and I had a third, but I took it out and put something else in.
No, Kate coming back here had a rough Monday, but now it's getting competitive. It's tightening up.
All right. Thanks so much, Don. In other news, the Stratford Fire Department is thanking Stratford police officers Jose Diaz and Dustin Murphy for apprehending 2 suspects who were breaking into employee cars behind fire headquarters. On Facebook, Fire Chief Robert McGrath said that during the early morning hours on Monday, 2 males were observed on municipal surveillance video breaking into vehicles in the rear of fire headquarters after being alerted to a break-in in their personal vehicle by an employee of Stratford EMS. Police were able to locate those 2 suspects, matching the descriptions at the Stratford MTA Metro North southbound station platform. Subsequently, those 2 suspects were detained, and upon checking their property, the identified stolen property was found. Those suspects were arrested and charged. Firefighters say without the diligent police work rendered by those 2 officers, those items stolen may have never been recovered. But let's throw it over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg sports update. Frank, how'd you do today in history?
I picked up one of them. I'm a little upset that Don wasn't going to do the premiere of Monday Night Football.
I know. We both had that one.
He excluded the sports from history today. I'm a little, and you know what? He's not coming on Nutmeg for that. But let's start with a battle of boys' undefeated soccer teams yesterday. Trumbull High and Fairfield Ward played to a 3-3 draw. There were 3 goals scored in 6-minute spans in both halves. Between the 22nd and 28th minute in the first half, Ward's Jonathan Schuster picked up 2 goals, with Trumbull's Daniel Fulchik scoring in between them. In the second half, Trumbull scored twice in a span of less than 3 minutes, getting goals from Jason Weinstein and Thang Dow to take a 3-2 lead before Jack Ryan tied the game with just only 3 minutes after Dow's goal. Jonathan Campbell made 5 saves for the Golden Eagles, and Matt Skelton had 4 for the Mustangs. Both teams are still yet to lose a game this season. Trumbull now 3-0-2 on the year. Ward is 3-0-1. Taking a look at some of the other scores from around the FCAC yesterday, Darien over New Canaan 1-0 in boys soccer, as well as McMahon defeating West Hill by a score of 3-1. Norwalk picked up a big win at Dunningfield in field hockey, knocking off New Canaan 5-3. Ludlow controlled Danbury 7-0 and Trumbull over Stanford by a final score of 4-0 as well in field hockey. Don't forget that we will be live tonight from Fairfield Ludlow High School at 6 o'clock for our first girls soccer match of the fall. The St. Joe's Cadets travel to take on the Falcons of Ludlow. And of course, this Saturday afternoon, we will be at Darien High School FCX tailgate at 11:15. And then we will have kickoff coverage at 1:15 for the Greenwich-Darien football game. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Tune in at 2 o'clock today when I'm joined by Dave Stewart. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thank you so much, Frank. In other news, a sad story out of Wallingford, where police are asking for the public to help them find the person who stole a fluffy white Pomeranian from a car parked in a shopping plaza on Tuesday night. Casper the dog was taken from an Audi at Staples Plaza at 1145 North Colony Road between 8 and 8:45 in the evening, while his owner was with a friend in a restaurant. The thief gained access to the dog through a partially open window. The dog is 12 years old and weighs 6 to 7 pounds. He has a unique bent cotton ball-like tail, and he wheezes when he breathes. The dog also has anxiety, police said, which causes him to shake and have seizures. Anyone who saw the theft or knows Casper's whereabouts is asked to call police at 203-294-2805. And Reading resident Lisa Landman, 48 years old of Umpqua Road, admitted on Monday that she stole at least $250,000 from a former employer. That, according to the U.S. Attorney for Connecticut. According to a press release, Landman was the bookkeeper for an unidentified Connecticut company when she authorized at least 33 wire transfers from the company's business bank account into her own personal credit card account. In total, she transferred more than $250,000 from the company's account and used the funds for personal purchases, including jewelry, clothing, vacations, spa treatments, fitness equipment, and tickets. She admitted that to these crimes before U.S. District Judge Victor Bolden in Bridgeport and pled guilty to one count of wire fraud stemming from an embezzlement case. When she is sentenced, Landman faces a maximum term of 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000. And in other news, the town of New Canaan is formalizing its wish to have an investor take on the cost of repairing, preserving, and operating its New Canaan Playhouse Theater building on Elm Street. The New Canaan Playhouse Committee is preparing to release a request for proposals that is looking for a creative solution to transition the iconic landmark into the stewardship of a private investor who will work closely with the town to achieve its goal of continuing the use of the building as a theater for years to come. The town, which owns the Playhouse building, is facing a roughly estimated $2 million to $3 million expense for recommended repairs and getting the 1922 building up to code with the American Disabilities Act. And according to the Ridgefield Press, parents are circulating a petition on change.org to keep the German language program alive at Ridgefield High School. According to the digital document, the parents are seeking 100 signatures before sending the petition to high school principal Stacy Gross and Superintendent Dr. Karen Baldwin. You can get more information on that at theridgefieldpress.com. But we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories that we're following today on your coffee break after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through September 30th.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Players have access to soccer, lacrosse, football, baseball and softball, field hockey, rugby, basketball, volleyball, and social game facilities. InSports has also launched an early childhood development program, a daycare and pre-K program all rolled into one. Don't miss out on the fun. Find out more at insportscenters.com or call 203-268-1214. Like and follow us on Facebook.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
At the Ridgefield Suzuki School, we believe that every child can. Using the internationally recognized Suzuki method, children learn to play their instrument in an environment of encouragement, parental support, and community. The Suzuki approach seeks to develop the whole child, to help unfold his or her natural potential to learn. Private lessons and group classes are offered on violin, viola, cello, and piano for children ages 4 and up, and young children can enroll in their school's early childhood classes before beginning an instrument. The Ridgefield Suzuki School, nurturing a love of music in all children. Call us at 203-403-2667 or visit ridgefieldsuzukischool.com.
At Elements Massage Ridgefield, we believe in quality services that are affordable and focused on therapy and healing. The licensed massage therapists are available 7 days a week, offering deep tissue and Swedish massage, as well as prenatal and couples massage. Special introductory rates are available now, or try our Elements trademarked wellness program. For more information, contact Elements Massage Ridgefield at 203-403-3348 or visit elementsmassage.com/Ridgefield.
We're back on this Wednesday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, taking a look at some of the top stories that we're following today, including that Milford firefighters rescued a man from Long Island Sound Tuesday after he was swept off the sandbar at Silver Sands Beach. At about 4 in the afternoon, Milford's 911 center received a call reporting a man in distress due to the rising tide. That incident occurred in the waters of Long Island Sound between Silver Sands State Park and Charles Island. A 52-year-old Waterbury man, along with his 24-year-old son, were attempting to walk out to Charles Island on the sandbar that becomes visible during low tide. Having misjudged the tide, the duo quickly became overcome by the swift current while attempting to return to shore. The 24-year-old man was able to swim safely to shore and place the 911 call. His father managed to grab onto a nearby buoy and clung to it for safety. Milford firefighters quickly responded and rescued the man, pulling him on board safely. He was returned to shore and evaluated and treated for some minor injuries. Residents are reminded, and visitors as well, to avoid walking out to Charles Island when the sandbar is visible. The rising tide brings a very strong current that often pulls recreational walkers out into deeper waters. And state police are investigating a fatal shooting by Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Police that happened in a garage at Foxwoods Casino yesterday morning. Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Police officers attempted to serve an active arrest warrant on a wanted suspect, and as they attempted to take that suspect into custody in the Fox Tower parking garage, he pointed a firearm at them. Tribal police ordered the suspect to drop the weapon, however, they say he did not comply. At least one tribal officer discharged one round from their duty weapon at the suspect. That suspect then fell off the 4th level of the Fox Tower parking garage onto a paved driveway below. Tribal police officers rendered first aid, however, that suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. There were no other injuries reported. At the request of the tribal police and the New London State's attorney, detectives from the state police responded to the scene and have assumed that investigation. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner also responded to the scene and will conduct a post-mortem to determine the cause of death. The identity of that suspect is being withheld pending notification of next of kin. And a 70-year-old Wilton man faces domestic violence charges after allegedly attempting to drown an elderly female by holding her down in a swimming pool. Police say Michael Ruddy, whose address they could not provide under privacy rules, faces charges of assault on an elderly person older than 60 years old, as well as disorderly conduct, second-degree assault, and unlawful restraint in connection with the incident that happened on Saturday. The victim managed to break away and used a neighbor's phone to call for help. An additional charge of violation of a protective order was filed on September 19th after Ruddy allegedly made 2 third-party attempts to contact her. And Sikorski Aircraft will stay in Stratford for at least the next 16 years, thanks to a deal reached between Governor Daniel Malloy and Lockheed Martin, Sikorski's parent company. Malloy announced Tuesday that he and Lockheed Martin had reached an agreement that will have Sikorski building nearly 200 CH-53K King Stallion helicopters for the U.S. Navy until at least 2032. The deal, according to a statement from Malloy's office, is subject to legislative and union approval. It will retain and grow approximately 8,000 jobs at Sikorski, which is headquartered on Main Street in Stratford. But you can get more on that at stratfordstar.com. And finally, Reading artist James Grasho led a fish parade for children on Sunday in connection with the Center for Contemporary Printmaking in Norwalk and Stepping Stones Museum for Children. The artist designed a number of patterns so children could cut out gigantic fish to parade with on Saturday. And Reading pilot editor Chris Burns was there and captured this video from the event. Check it out.
Here we go! The first annual... It's not an annual.
The first annual fish parade!
Fish parade!
It's very windy. It's going away. You have to hold
Thanks so much to Chris Burns for capturing that video. But let's start over to Frank Granito now for one final look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. Again, partly cloudy and warm out today with an expected high of 85 degrees, a little bit of humidity as well. Mostly clear skies overnight and temperatures dropping down into the low 60s. Plenty of sunshine on Thursday and it will be warm out again. Temperatures in the low 80s but less humidity tomorrow, and then clear skies overnight as it could cool down to as low as about 56 degrees. Friday could be the warmest day of the week though, mostly cloudy and muggy all day long with a real feel temperature of about 90 degrees. Possible showers overnight before clearing up and cooling down for what should be a very comfortable weekend. So we've got to survive 2 or 3 more days, but should be a nice weekend for us, Kate.
All right, I can deal with that. Thanks so much, Frank. We're going to wrap things up here in your coffee break, but still a busy day. CT Pulse coming up at 12:30. We have Deb Greenwood from the Center for Family Justice joining us. Patty Gay will talk more about that Weston Forum animal cruelty case, and we'll talk about some other news as well. Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock and girls soccer at 6. And we'll see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11.